Good afternoon, boys and girls, and a happy Sunday to all of you. Question: what do a Montreal stand-up comic and Eric, aka Dr1ven Industries, have in common? Stick around and then the question will be answered later on in this video. This is the first video, the introductory to a multiple video series I am working on. Employment and why it's problematic for those with mental health issues. So won't you all please join us on this journey?
How would you feel if I called you lazy all the time? How would you feel if I said, oh, you just lay at home all the time and collect check from the government? Do you seriously think that I like that?
Hey kids, Straight Talking Florida coming at you this afternoon. Happy Father's Day to all who are fathers and grandfathers, and welcome to the channel. If you're new here, we discuss social issues of the day mainly, but not exclusively, to mental health. This is basically my little rant corner of the intertubes. If you're into that kind of thing, please consider subscribing and hit that little ringy dingy icon below so you can be notified every time I upload. The gentleman in an earlier clip in this video was Gary from the channel Bipolar Corner. The link to his full video is in the info card above. As mentioned, this will be the first of a multi-video series about mental health issues and employment. Why employment is so problematic for those with mental health issues. This includes those with addiction and neurological issues such as learning disabilities, yours truly is dyslexic, and autism spectrum, which would include aspergers. This will be done through facts, stats, and many individual stories. So this series will be quite balanced. Yes, I am also looking to speak with an HR professional for this series as well. I will keep you all up to date. I am actively asking on social media for people who suffer from mental health issues to the point where maintaining traditional employment that is regularly scheduled 30 plus hours per week, working for a boss or multiple bosses. What you saw in the earlier clip, all those slogans are actual quotes I hear and read ad nauseum on a regular basis. This is an issue that affects me directly. Many of whom who have been following me for some time know that I am on forced medical retirement. I did touch a little bit on that in a previous video, why I seldom leave home. Link to that video is in the info card above. But I will be uploading a video going more into detail about my retirement later this week, so you'll want to check that out. For right now, let's get into some numbers, shall we? Unemployment rates among people living with depression or anxiety can be over 30%. Research tells us that most people living with a serious mental illness want to work, but few do find work, and often the work does not meet their goals or abilities. Even people with former substance use problems may have a hard time finding or keeping work because of stigma or discrimination. The source from the Canadian Mental Health Association, British Columbia Division. 64% of Ontario workers would be concerned about how work would be affected if a colleague had mental illness. 39% of Ontario workers indicate that they would not tell their managers if they were experiencing a mental health problem. Individuals with mental illness are much less likely to be employed. Unemployment rates are as high as 70 to 90% for people with the most severe of mental illnesses. So I believe that would encompass bipolar disorder, borderline personality disorder, as well as schizophrenia. The source for those numbers are from the Center for Addiction and Mental Health. In any given week, at least 500,000 employed Canadians are unable to work due to mental health problems. This includes approximately 355,000 disability cases due to mental and/or behavioral disorders, approximately 175,000 full-time workers absent from work due to mental illness. Again, the source: Center for Addiction and Mental Health. I will have that link to the Center for Addiction and Mental Health below in the description box. Many close to us, those with mental health issues that impede us from gainful employment, do not even understand why. I would like to clear that up, and I hope to educate in this series. Future videos in this series coming down the pipe are my own story, how I got from sick leave to retirement, a more in-depth look into the vicious circle that is the mentally ill and employment. Research does show that in an ideal world, those with mental health issues might be better off working. However, for a variety of reasons such as side effects from treatment, going through bouts of crisis, discrimination, work that is not suitable for them, exploitation, gainful employment, remain problematic for many, if not most. That too will be a part of the series. It will be its own separate video. I will also examine the question, is self-employment the best solution for those with mental health issues? That will also be part of the series, of course. I will be talking to freelancers and entrepreneurs of various stripes. Currently, as I shoot this video, I am working on finding those self-employed individuals who would be willing to be interviewed, either anonymously or publicly. I am also doing a video about the Health and Safety Psychological Standards of Canada, simply known for short as the Standard. The first of its kind in the world. It was implemented in 2013. So why does it remain pretty much unknown to this day? So we'll be delving on that subject as well as perhaps looking at potential solutions employers can implement to make it easier for those with mental illness to work. The standard in Canada, I might add, is a voluntary measure, and thus employers are not obligated to implement them. However, it begs the question, since it's so not known, how many employers actually really do know about the standard? Meanwhile, for those who are interested in learning more about the Health and Safety Psychological Standards of Canada, I will have a link below describing it that you can peruse at your own time. But that will be a video in this series. So many personal stories, voices that need to be heard either visibly or anonymously, as mentioned, on this very subject. So as mentioned, I have put out a call on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I want to put your stories out there if you are inclined to talk with me. I really want to help you tell your story. Either in writing by DMs on Facebook or email or by Twitter. Please, not on Instagram. I really have trouble typing long texts with my phone, and Instagram does not permit writing DMs using a computer. I will have links to all my socials below on how you can get in touch with me. If necessary, for whatever reason, I will respect your privacy and will not use your real name if that is what you are more comfortable with. So here is the criteria. I am looking for people who have diagnosed mental health issues and or addictions and are in recovery. They can have physical issues or not along with that. And as mentioned, also included would be the related and often comorbid conditions such as learning disabilities and or autism spectrum, who fall into one of the more following categories. A, have trouble keeping employment. B, may leave work more often than most due to mental health issues, taking a sick leave, or being forced to quit or have been terminated. C, maybe successfully maintaining employment, and I mean in the traditional sense, working full-time for a boss at an office or a plant, or if your work takes you on the road often, like a salesperson. D, deal with performance anxiety to the point where it may impede on success with work. E, as mentioned, self-employed, freelancers. F, or forced retirement or on disability benefits permanently or for the long term. Please note, I will respect your privacy, and if so desired, I will not use your real name. I am flexible. I can interview you in writing via email or FB Messenger or another medium where I forward you the questions or you answer me back in writing. Or a pre-recorded audio or video interview via Skype, Hangouts, or Zoom. I have all three. Please note, none of those on-camera interviews will be live streamed. They will be pre-recorded. If interested or know someone who is interested, please, again, PM me or email me at the links below. So far, I have to say, I have had a fabulous response for my request for interviews. So many diverse men and women from different age brackets, as well as professions and trades and employment situations. You all rock. Which brings me to the answer of my question at the top of this video. What do Eric, aka Dr1ven Industries, and a Montreal stand-up comic have in common? The answer to that, boys and girls, is that both Eric and AJ have already agreed to talk with me on this very subject. So I'm very excited about that, and I thank you both in advance. Many of you who follow me here on this channel don't need an introduction to Eric, aka Dr1ven Industries, but for those who do, let's have a brief introduction. Eric is a recovering addict and as well suffers from a variety of mental health conditions for which he is very open about on his channel. He is gainfully employed as a salesman and appears to be quite successful at it. Given the statistics in Canada and the US, Eric's employment situation appears to be the exception rather than the rule. So he will likely provide a rather unique perspective to this discussion. So I'm really looking forward to that. Tentatively, Eric and I will be scheduling that interview toward the end of this week. All going well, I should have that interview uploaded by next weekend. As for AJ, a Montreal stand-up comic, I will be meeting him to have an on-camera interview as well. This should take place sometime next week. I need a new microphone to conduct it effectively. So that's what I'm waiting for. And I should have that video uploaded within 48 hours following. Again, I will keep you all up to date. There are others I am currently in preliminary discussions with before beginning the interview process. Thanks so much in advance to those who got back to me, interested in being interviewed. Like I said, you all rock, and I'm really humbled by your response, because this is very important. I think your stories need to be told. That will be it for this video. Please give it a thumbs up if you like it or are interested in the upcoming videos in this series. Please consider subscribing and hit that ringy-dingy icon below so you can be notified every time I upload. Please take care of yourselves and each other. Always remember to look in on the most vulnerable. Sometimes just spending the time with them, talking with them, can make all the difference in their lives. Straight Talking Fedora Chick, over and out.